it was that, when people think about smokeless tobacco, they always point to the baseball players who, by and large, I think you presented this in St. Louis, they're all sort of self-diagnosed with the exception of maybe one. And it's about a half dozen well-known baseball players. And so, my question at the time, and again, is if that's the perception, if that were actually real, wouldn't we see disproportionately higher rates of head and neck cancer among baseball players? But we don't.
Well, that's exactly right. And with respect to the baseball players, I've been through several of them, and I've discussed several of the cases on my blog. For example, Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, everybody blames his cancer on cigars and alcohol and smokeless tobacco. But Babe Ruth had a nasopharyngeal cancer, one in the back of his nose, in his back in his sinus. Didn't have anything to do with any of that stuff. And in fact, Babe Ruth, just a sidelight, Babe Ruth was one of the first people in the world to get radiation therapy for that, especially for that cancer. But anyway, Tony Gwynn is another one, the San Diego, fantastic ball player from San Diego. Tony Gwynn had a cancer of his parotid gland, of the gland that supplies a lot of the saliva to your mouth. You have two big glands, and no tobacco use, no tobacco of any sort has ever been implicated in cancer of the salivary glands. Tony Gwynn blamed it on that, but it just wasn't the case. And I can go through some others as well. This is all public information from what I have gleaned from the media. And, it would be even better if we could look at their medical records, of course, but we can't do that.
Right.
But the other one was the pitcher. I'm blanking on his name, but he apparently came up with a node in his neck, and that is indicative of a deep throat cancer that has never been related to anything smokeless, because smokeless is all up in the mouth. It doesn't affect the throat. The throat is where human papillomavirus causes a lot of cancers, especially these days. We've come to know that HPV is a big cause of throat cancer. So no, you're exactly right, Alex. Baseball would be, there would be an epidemic of mouth cancer in baseball, especially before. Now that they're not allowed to, or at least there's more stringent rules about smokeless tobacco.